can you tell our listeners about your experience with historical instruments, because you are not a beginner in this field, right?
Okay. Well, I guess in the context of the competition, I think surely there are people who have more experienced than me in historic pianos. So my experience is that maybe 10 years ago, I came across a recording of, this was, I think, who was to become my teacher. He played on a historic instrument in concert with orchestra of the 18th century, Franz Bruggen. So this sound was something that really stuck with me for a long time. But it was only until, say, last September that I went to school and I asked the administration, well, are there these kinds of pianos? And then only if there are, then can I even consider kind of taking part in this, because that was around the same time I found out that they were doing it again after 2018. So I wasn't sure if they were going to do it again. So this process, it's also another difficulty is to find, let's say, teachers with kind of pedagogical experience with teaching historic instruments, and this is, I think, one of the most difficult things, in addition to finding pianos. And then sometimes the pianos that you find, they are not in the best shape as well. So in the process, I've been talking to not just pianists and piano teachers, but also the team behind, like the technicians and sometimes the builders, and they are really the people that have much more experience firsthand with these, and those teachers who work closely with them. So I was something like this, and then I was fortunate to take part in some events related to Chopin Institute. So the master classes in August, and also the small weekend at Cornell University. That was really very helpful, because that was really I had already practiced on them for months and had kind of an idea of what I want to do, the kind of sound to expect. But that was the first time that really I got a proper kind of lesson in that setting on historic instruments, and this was a very important experience for me.
And what about these instruments that you played on today? Can you tell us something about it? And also, which one was the best for you?
Okay. So with these historic instruments, having also played some of the other instruments that are placed around the Institute for practice and warm-up, the instruments they've chosen, they are quite nice. Each instrument has a very kind of distinct character, especially when you're taking into account different brands, designs, even the custodians of these instruments. This is very important, because especially with original instruments, if they've been around for 200 years, say, then they've gone through so many different hands, so then they've all been adjusted with either through restoration or maintenance, that they've been adjusted to somebody's liking, and then maybe this is not always to your own liking. So this is kind of part of the interesting thing, and also part of the challenge, I think, especially when you've selected maybe original instruments that have a few quirks compared to maybe, say, a modern reproduction, which is always reliable and controlled because of its nature and its history. Yes. Mm.
You were the only one who chose not the copies, but the original instruments, I think, during the first session today.
Yes. Yes. And what I can say is that the 1842 Pleyel, the original, is extremely popular. Almost every single competitor plays it. So I think that it says something about the nature of the instrument and how close it is to play the music on this of Chopin.
And with the performance of which piece are you most satisfied of?
Of mine, I think the Barcarolle. I think I hope the people enjoyed that. Of course, it's like getting used to the stage, getting used to the piano. But I think when things kind of settle down, and then you just kind of play, and then you hope that the instrument will kind of help you with your playing, because you might visualize, you might hear how you want it in your head, but the instrument has to kind of translate that, and to get the feeling across. Especially, it's not just, of course, when you translate words, it's not just words, but how you translate, like the feeling that you give. And this has to be, I think, when the translation is good, then people can feel something. And the instrument is a very important aspect of this. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay.